Day 392 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 420, strong password checker. The difficulty level is hard, but don't worry because you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as possible. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go ahead and check out that link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. A password is considered strong if the below conditions are all met. It has at least 6 characters and at most 20 characters. It contains at least one lowercase letter, at least one uppercase letter, and at least one digit. It does not contain 3 repeating characters in a row, i.e. the string BAAABB0 is weak, but BAABA0 is strong. Given a string password, return the minimum number of steps required to make a password strong. If password is already strong, return 0. In one step, you can insert one character to the password, delete one character from password, or replace one character of password with another character. All right, y'all. So that sounds simple enough, but let's go ahead and take a look at these examples just to make sure we're doing this problem correctly. We have to see how many of these operations we need to use in order to make a weak password a strong password. Or if it's already strong, we don't need to use any of the operations and we could just return 0. So in example 1, we have the input password equals A. The output is 5. Output is 5 because we're going to need at least 6 characters for it to be a strong password. It says right here. Oh, sorry. These are the rules right here. And these are the steps though. But these are steps, these are the rules. But it says we need at least 6 characters. So with this password being a string of only one character, that means we're going to have to do at least 5 steps, or we might have to insert one character 5 different times to meet this requirement of having at least 6 characters. So the minimum amount of steps that we can do is going to be 5 because we have to have at least 6 characters, and right now we only have 1. So let's go ahead and take a look at example 2, where we have some more characters, but it's still not a strong password. So, but it's the same principle because in example 2, this time password equals a string lowercase a, capital A, and 1. The output is 3. Once again, we only have 3 characters, so we're going to have to do at least 3 steps just to make it 6 characters. Once again, it's not 6 characters. If past this, it has one lowercase, has one uppercase, and one digit, and it doesn't have any repeating characters, but it still does not have the 6 characters. So we have to add at least 3 more characters to get it to be to meet the minimum requirement of it to have at least 6 characters. Okay, let's look at example 3. So in example 3, we have the input password equals a string 1337C0D3. This time the output is 0. So with this string right here, we do not have to do any steps. We have this password meets all of the requirements. It has 6 to 20 characters. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it has 8 characters. That meets this requirement right here. It contains a lowercase letter right here and a capital case letter right here. That satisfies this requirement right here, and it does not contain 3 repeating characters in a row. So it might have 2 3s in a row, but that's okay. And it might have a 3 over here, that's okay. Because even though they have 3 3s, they're not 3 repeating characters in a row. They're separated. There's 2 right here and there's 1 right here. So with this password already being strong, we don't have to do any additional steps, so the output is 0. So we're just counting the steps. We're not creating a new password or checking to see. We're not just one check to see if it's strong or weak. We actually have to return the output of how many steps we're going to need in order to make it a strong password. So with that being said, let's get into the fun part, the actual solution. As you know, we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as possible. So let's get into it. first thing we're going to do is we're going to convert the password into an array, and then we're going to get the length of characters. So for that, we can say let pw equal an array, open up the parentheses, password, come outside of that, we're going to say comma, and we're going to say pw count. We're going to set that equal to pw.count. Boom. Now we need some flags to check for the presence of lowercase, uppercase, and numeric characters. So for that, we'll declare a variable called low, and we'll set that equal to false. Then we'll say up, we'll say comma up, and we'll set that equal to false as well. Then we'll say comma num, and we'll set that equal to false as well. Boom. Now we need to check each character and set the corresponding flags. So for that, all we have to do is we can say for pw count in pw, open up the brackets, and we're going to say if pw count dot is lowercase, then we're going to open up the brackets and we're going to say low equals true. Boom. Then we're going to come right here underneath this, we're going to say else if pw count dot is uppercase, we're going to open up the brackets and we're going to set up equal to true. Then come underneath that and we're going to say else if pw count dot is a number, we're going to open up the brackets and we're going to set num equal to true. Boom. Now we need to calculate how many times each character types are missing. So if a lowercase is missing or uppercase is missing or a digit is missing, we need to count that. So we'll come down here, we're going to declare a variable called types, and we're going to set that equal to 3. Then we're going to say if low, open up the brackets, types, excuse me, that should be regular brackets, types minus equals 1. Then we're going to come underneath that, we're going to say if up types minus equals 1. Sorry, this should be in the brackets. Then we're going to come underneath that, we're going to say if num, open up the brackets, types minus equals 1. Boom. Now we need counters for the repeated sequence. So for that, we come underneath this, we declare a variable, we could say 1, set that equal to 0, comma, we'll say 2, and we'll set that equal to 0 as well. Then we'll say 3, and we'll set that equal to, we could call this one rep, and we'll set that equal to 0 as well. Then we'll come outside of this, we'll say I, and we'll set that equal to 2. Boom. So now we need to detect sequences of 3 or more repeated characters. So in order to do that, we're going to say while I is less than pw count. That's why we have I as 2, because we need less than 3, so we could start from 2. Then we're going to say pw square bracket I equal sign pw square bracket I minus 1. Come outside of that, we're going to say and two and signs and pw square bracket I equals, so equal sign pw square bracket I minus 2. Sorry, 2. That should be minus 2 right there. Then we're going to come underneath that. Or sorry, this should be an if. This should be an if statement right there. So we're going to come right here, open up the brackets, and we're going to come underneath that. We're going to say bar length equals 2. Boom. Then we need to extend the repeat length while the repetition continues. So we're going to say, come underneath this, we're going to say while I is less than PW count and two and signs, PW square bracket I equals, come outside the square brackets, equals PW square bracket I minus 1, meaning that they equal the same thing. Then we could come right here, we're going to increment length, we're going to say length plus equals 1. Come underneath that, we're going to increment I as well, say I plus equals 1. Now, each group of 3 repeated 3 characters needs one replacement. So we'll come underneath this, and since we need a replacement, we're going to say rep plus equals length divided by 3. Now we need to count how many groups are where mod 3 or the remainder, if we divide by 3, is equal to 0, 1, or 2, which is going to optimize our deletions. So we come underneath this, we'll say if length mod 3, meaning when we divide it by 3, the remainder is equal to 0, then we're going to open up the brackets and we're going to say 1 plus equals 1. Boom. Then we could come underneath that and we're going to say else if length mod 3 equals 1. Then we're going to open, meaning if we divide it by 3 and the remainder is 1, then what we are going to do is we're going to say 2 plus equals 1. Then come underneath that and we could just say, we come right here and we could just say else, open up the brackets, I plus equals 1. Boom. Now we're not done yet, because if the password is too short, we need to add characters. So we come right here and we could say if PW count is less than 6, then we open up the brackets, we're going to return max, open up the parentheses, types, comma, 6 minus PW count. Then, if within acceptable length, we just fix the missing types and repeated characters. So we could come right here and we could say else if, open up the brackets, PW count, right here, else if PW count is less than or equal to 20, because remember that's part of the requirements, has to be at most 20 characters. So else if PW count is less than or equal to 20, then we could just come right here and we could return the max of the types, comma, rep. Now if it's too long, then we must delete characters. So to handle that, we're going to come right here, we're going to say let del equal PW count minus 20. Boom. Then we need to optimize deletions to reduce the replacements. So we're going to delete from groups where mod 3 is equal to 0, then where mod 3 is equal to 1, and then where mod 3 is equal to 2. So for that, we just say rep minus equals min, open up the parentheses, del, comma, 1. Then we're going to come down, we're going to say rep minus equals min, or this time we're going to open up the parentheses, put min inside of that. Then we're going to, the min is going to be the max, open up parentheses, del minus 1 spelled out, comma, 0. Then we're going to come outside of these parentheses right here, and we're going to say comma 2 times 2, and come outside these parentheses and say just divided by 2. Boom. Then one more time, we're going to come right here, we're going to say rep minus equals, open up the parentheses, max, open up some more parentheses, del minus 1 minus 2 times 2 comma 0, come outside of these parentheses, still inside the other parentheses, and divide that by 3. Now we need the total steps, which is going to be the max of the missing types and remaining replacements plus deletions. So for that, we come underneath this, we say return max, open up the parentheses, types, comma, rep, then we're going to say plus del, just like that. Now that should be all she wrote. Let's see if it runs, y'all, before we submit it. Okay, cannot find password and scope is crazy. Oh, it's a typo, my bad, y'all. Let's run it again. Run it again, see what happens this time. Okay, it says, sorry, y'all, another typo. I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that. Let's run it again. Cannot find where we at. This should be PW. Another typo. I'm bad with all these typos, y'all. I'm moving too fast. And there it is, y'all. It's accepted. So let's go ahead and submit it. Make sure it's still accepted after we submit it. And look at that, y'all. 0 milliseconds beats 100% of users with Swift. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the numbers I like to see. Now, before we leave, make sure y'all get one more look at the code. I know it's a lot of code. So this is the top part of the code. This is like the middle part of the code. And this is the bottom part of the code. And yeah, y'all, I hope y'all learned something today. And I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.